Hi, I'm Patty with StudioR12 Stencils, and today I'm going to show you how to choose what kind of stencil to put over the top of something that you've already created a background on. We have a beautiful wood burned project that we then stained our American flag on top of. If you want to see how I use the torch to get the wood grain, you would not believe how cool this is, then check out the video in the cards. And then if you want to see how to get straight lines on your project, then you'll want to check out the video on staining the American flag. It's amazing. Such a great tool to have. Okay, so today's lesson though is going to be about selecting a stencil to go on top. So what I chose was Home Sweet Home. Now there's a couple things about this that's interesting. We have 3 sizes. One thing about StudioR12 Stencils is we sell most of our stencils in sizes. And that means that you're not stuck with a 9x9 or a 12x12. You can choose the size that is perfect for your project. And you can go to our website, StudioR12.com, and you can check out all 7,000 titles. We have a lot for any season, any reason, and personalization as well. Anyway, so we decided to do Home Sweet Home because, you know, we live here in America, so that's a good thing. Now this is very masculine like this, but maybe say I want this for my dining room table as a Lazy Susan, or I want it as a door hanger. You can keep it masculine by only doing the words on this stencil. You can keep it a little bit more feminine by including the greenery going around. So that's kind of some ways that you can choose depending on which way you want to push your project. When you want it feminized, add softer ingredients, okay? And so then another thing to look for when you have, this is a busy background, there's a lot going on, it's elegant and beautiful, I love it. However, a couple of the stencils on our website that I was looking at for patriotic have thinner fonts, so they don't have a lot of weight to them. And this really does require a little bit of weight. So you want to have, when I say weight, I mean thickness, so that they can stand up to the busy of the background and stand away from it. So that's a really important thing. If you have a lot going on, thin, spindly fonts will not show up, okay? So we've got our 3 sizes, and I'll just show you what the 3 of them look like. So we can bring it in to this smaller size and include the greenery. I like the size of the greenery on the smaller size than I do on the bigger. And then if I chose this one might be a neat one to do to keep this out of the blue band here. So you could drop it down and just only do the Home Sweet Home and center that, and then that would be a really great idea or a way to use a smaller stencil. So what I think I'm going to do is I've chosen the big one, and what I'm going to do is only use the words instead of adding the greenery. So I'm going to evenly position. Okay, so then I'm going to tape in 2 places. And we're going to go here. And on the other side, if I only tape in one place, my stencil can move. So you always tape in more than one place. And then that's secured. Okay, and then we're going to do quick little basic on our stenciling. We always use a dome brush so that you don't get any bleeding under, okay? You don't want to do all this work on your background. This is when you especially don't want to make a mistake, and then you want to know how to clean up a mistake if you do make one, because I've done 2 projects basically on this already. So you want to make sure you know what you're doing. So if you haven't ever stenciled before and you want to try this, do it first on a cardboard box so that you're sure you got the technique. We always use a dry dome brush. The dome keeps the paint from sliding under. We use dry paint, meaning that we haven't added any water to it. And then we're going to use a dry paper towel to offload almost all of the paint. That's the most important step, is offloading your paint, because if you don't offload your paint, then you are going to have a bloody mess. And then I'm going to have to show you how to clean it up. Okay, so I'm going to load just a little. Notice I don't have a big ol' honkin' one of those things, okay? That's not what we want. So I'm going to take that off, come over to my paper towel. Sorry, it's white on white. And I go about 5 to 10 times and wipe off all the paint. And when I come over here, I'm going to show you right here on this red, probably glasses are a good idea. And I'm just gonna feather, look at how little paint is coming off. So that's where you wanna be with that. And I'm just going to swirl. If you stipple, boom, 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 like that, then in these big open holes, that actually is going to create little circle patterns. And so it's actually better not to stipple in a big open hole. You could use an ink sweeper or a jumbo dauber, and that would work. And actually, I think I'll show you that after I do this. So see how that's just a faint background on there. We're just going to build sheer layers. Notice I'm offloading every single time I'm doing the paint. Okay, now is about the time where I would peek. See how we're doing. So I'm just going to lift up my stencil. See, do I like the coloring? Do I like the placement? I can hold one side, lift up the other, and I did scooch just a little. See how it's still sheer? We need that to be solid. In this case, we need that to be solid. Sometimes you would not need it to be solid. Now I'll show you what it would look like with a jumbo dauber. So now we use the jumbo dauber dry paint. Just smoosh some in there, and then you always come over here and give it a little splotch on your paper towel. And then you tap up and down, and you'll get good, strong coverage with this. And what I love about it is it will do the fatness of the letters. And you just go in a row, connecting all your marks. Watch your items on the other side. So I'll use my little multi-masker to mask that area because this is a big applicator. And because we're using really scant paint, it's drying really quickly. So I don't have to worry about blow drying in between, just saves a step. Let's work smarter, not harder. Okay, now I look for anything that doesn't look even. And I'll go back. My blue is kind of peeking through. I don't want that to look like a different color. Okay, I've got some lines poking through here and through my T. Okay, I think we've got it. Okay, then I put my jumbo dauber in my water, and I'll take another brush handle and I'll just put it in upside down, and that'll keep it submerged because they like to float a sponge side up. So that will keep them wet, which means that they will last for a very long time. Are you ready to see the results? Here we go. Dun, dun, dun. Perfect, 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 perfect. Now, in my opinion, it's a little bit bright for my faded background, and so I'm gonna dry this and I'm gonna show you what I would do about that. All right, I've got my project dry and cooled down. I'm gonna take a sanding block and I am going to dig through my stenciling. What I'm trying to do is not take the flag down, but take the white down just a little bit. Yeah, see, I already like that little bit of gnarliness. If you needed to, you could go evenly over the whole flag, and that would give everything some distress, but this is working out. One thing that you want to be aware of is you always want to go with your grain. So whichever way your lines go, if you're creating lines, you don't want to go across unless that's the look you're going for. So make sure you're going with your grain and try not to. So when you start running into your body, like you're pulling it this way, you want to make sure you turn your project so your arm has free movement. Okay, so you don't want to be like this and standing like this, and then you're like chugging into your body right there. So that is a really good tip, and that's what we call a pro tip. Make sure that you are subscribing and ringing that bell, because we give pro tips in every video, and we try to blow your hippie noodle with things like painting with fire as many times as we can. So we really enjoy stenciling and crafting and DIY. And now let's talk about what we can do with this project. If it was going to be a door hanger, how would I finish it? I would use a polyurethane. I would either use a spray or I would use a brush-on product. And you can use the Krylon 1311 matte finish. That's a wonderful product. I've used it for at least 20 years. Or a DecoArt DuraClear matte varnish. This is a polyurethane, so it's going to prevent yellowing and weathering and that kind of thing. This will be great for hanging outside. So one of the things that you could do with this project is you can varnish it, and then you can use it as a door hanger. So you could drill holes in it, you could use command strips, you could put a sawtooth hanger on the back, whatever you wanted to do for that. The second thing that you could do is let's talk about finishing, we can make it into a tray. So I could put handles right here, and then you could make longer handles or the shorter handles. And what you could do, the way you'd finish a tray is I would do the DuraClear matte varnish, and then I would follow it with the paste finishing wax from Minwax, okay? And this is in the natural color. We use Special Dark and the natural, and those are the two waxes. If you want it food safe, you would use Clapham's beeswax. Okay, so then you can make it into your tray, or you could make it into a Lazy Susan. So now you have a beautiful centerpiece for your home. And what's really great, if you check out, we'll put the links down below, where to get these rounds for a very affordable price will be down below in the description. So make sure you check that out. I super love this project. I hope you guys have enjoyed.